Hi, everybody. Welcome to Girl Woman with Lara Rathod. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking to Marcela Bracho on being 50-something. Now, I've literally got Marcela on the cusp of 50-something. And just so you know, I plan on having her back once she becomes a 60-something to talk to us a little bit more. So we've got her right at a very interesting time. Marcela, welcome to the series. Welcome to the show. I am so delighted to have you with me today.
Thank you very much, Lara. I'm excited as well. And thank you for this opportunity to have our voice and for the feminine power that we have all the women. So thank you very much for this chance to be myself.
And that's exactly what I want all my guests to feel. You know, I want them to have a safe space where they get to be fully themselves and where we get to see them stand in their power and their glory and their voice and themselves at whatever and however they feel at this particular moment in time.
Yes.
So I'm so excited that I get to have you with me today. Once you introduce yourself, I will tell everybody a little bit about how we know each other. But firstly, let me hand over to you to introduce yourself. And for my audience, if this is the first episode that you're watching of Girl Woman, the reason that I ask my guests to introduce themselves in a very intentional way is so that it helps you, the audience, see yourself represented in them, but also it will help to contextualize the lived experience of my guests as they share things about themselves and their view of the world and their lives. So Marcela, over to you. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Marcela Bracho. My pronouns are her and she. My nationality is Mexican, but I have a little French-Spanish heritage. My grandfather was French and Spanish, and I was born in Mexico City. I was born in Mexico City, and I stayed there 24 years till I married. So I grew up in Mexico. It's a big city, as you know. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, and I grew in a beautiful, lovely family with three sisters. We are four women, very strong women, with a mother very strong. And I have been living as well in different places. When I get married, I moved to Washington, D.C. in the United States, and I've been there 1 year. And then 4 months later, I lived and I moved to Brussels in Belgium, and I stayed there 3 years more. Then I came back to Mexico, and I have been I think 17 moves or changing in all around Mexico, and then Toluca, and then United States, and then I have been traveling all around, not the world. I would like to have a travel all around the world, but I love to travel. So what else? And I love travel. I told you already, I was raised Catholic. That's my first religion, right? But since I was 12 years, I was like a very inquisitive woman and very curious, and I wanted to discover my truth, who I was. And then I was not very convinced of myself to be a Catholic. There's a lot of structure. So I think I consider myself very spiritual. Mm-hmm. And I think more than that, very pantheist. Pantheist, the pantheist is not a religion. It's just the way we look at the world. We look at the universe. So all the things that has in reality is like my divinity. When I just saw a beautiful sun, and I see the birds and all the things all around, all the things for me. There is the God in me, immanent. I don't know if it's immanent God in all the things. So my reality is identical with my divinity. So I love the things, I love everything, the flowers, or I used
a real connection with nature.
A real connection with all the things that are in our world, in the universe as well. I have three children. One, the biggest, is a son that is married, and now in this year I will be grandmother. So I'm so happy, Lara, that it's like a dream for me to have a baby in my arms very, very soon. And I have two daughters as well, is Renata and Maria Fernanda. Maria Fernanda, 30 years old, and Renata, 22. So we have all the generations in my in my life. I have been married 35 years. So this year in August, I will be 35 years with my couple, with my partner, and I have been a very lovely, lovely life with him. So I'm straight. I am very inquisitive, very curious. I love learning, very curious, and I love learning all the time. Since I was a very child, I wanted to learn. So that's my life. Love lessons of love, but as well as like looking for the truth, looking for the things. So I think I'm a strong woman as well. I have a very I don't know how to say it, but a strong character. No? Yeah. I used to put limits all the time. No, I was a very fight woman since I was a kid, and defending all the unfair things that I used to to live in other ways. I am very, very, I don't know how to say it, but it's my character. But I am very sensitive, very, very sensitive. I sensible also as well, and I want to play in life. I love to play, right?
Oh my God, these are just like
playful. And
such exciting words. And you've literally preempted my first question, which was, what 4 words describe you? And so you said that you're curious and you're sensitive and you're sensual. And what was the other word? What was the first thing that you said?
The first is inquisitive. I don't know if it's
inquisitive.
I wanted to know the truth. I investigate every day, every
like
time.
A seeker. Yes.
Yes,
you're
also a seeker. And I want to be I want to change the world, right? So I study in my 30s. I study psychology, and like a psychotherapist, and that's the way I live now. That's your space.
That's the way that you engage with the world, and you engage with other people, and you engage with yourself. And that really ties together, because being a psychotherapist, you are examining people's motivation and yourself, right? Everything that you sort of project outwards in terms of helping others. Because you're curious, I would imagine that it also makes you curious about yourself. Is that right? Or am I just assuming?
No, that's fine, because the first thing I have to do is knowledge all my disabilities and all my difference between me, because I fight with myself all the time, and I wanted to be my perfect version. I think the perfection is terrible.
Perfection doesn't exist.
Terrible, but
it's terrible.
It's terrible, but I know that I have like this all the time. I want to be, I wanted to do the perfect thing. I want to be a very confident for everybody. And I have been working a lot in myself, a lot of this.
So Marcela, before we come on to your book, tell me, What does it feel like for you being 50 something?
57. I'm very, very proud because I think at this time, on November, I will be 60 this year. So I told you already my secret, but the thing is that I feel alive. For me, being 60 or 50 or 30 it doesn't care. It's the experience I have been searching. It's something that I have because all the pain and all the suffering and all the experience in my life, they make me more human being, more human.
Yeah, more human.
With all my defects and all the things that I am not perfect. Of course not. I am.
Nobody is perfect. Let's just get this clear for everybody, that nobody is perfect. And actually, perfection is boring, because with perfection, you don't learn, you don't grow. Perfection is, I guess, it's like homeostasis, where everything is just frozen in time. I hope I'm using that word right. I've heard it, and I think I'm using the right context. But perfection should not be the thing that people aspire to, because I think that perfection is artificial. You'll never achieve it, but also it keeps you frozen, it keeps you trapped. And it means that you're
very frustrated, because all the time I have to fight with myself, and I have to be, that's the way I am, no? With all my defects. And there are opportunities, areas to grow up. And I think that's the thing that I have been doing all my way to be here in the 60s. So I feel very proud of myself, and I feel, I think I feel free, very free, because now I don't care what the people say to me, or what the opinion of the people. I can feel the expectations of everybody. So I think I am more myself. And I am a very good friend. I think that's something that I consider myself. I used to accept the people. I don't want they change for anything. I just embrace them, and I am a very good, how you say when they're...
You're a loyal friend?
Very loyal for them,
yeah.
No? I am a Scorpio, so I think that's a point of this Scorpio.
I didn't know that, because I'm a Scorpio as well. I didn't realize that. I didn't know that Scorpios were loyal. I heard that we were fiery and we were passionate and we felt big feelings, and so I didn't know that
we are loyal because we are confident, and we look for what we wanted. We didn't lose our direction, and we like as well. I love all the spiritual things and dark things and all the mysteries. So all the mysteries on the universe. So strong people, I think, like me, are just fighting for whatever they want. No, everything that I just planned, I said I'm going to do it. Traveling or
writing your book.
I want to have a house, I wanted, and I fight and I struggle myself, and I say I'm gonna do it because all my objectives and all my goals, I wanted to fill it out. So I consider like that. I don't know. It's difficult so to describe ourselves, right?
Well, you know what's actually been very interesting for me, when I devise the questions, and obviously I devise like much more, right? And I think it's good to have more choice to then scale back into what kind of things that you ask people. But this was the first question that I was always planning to ask my guests, because I wanted to have two or 3 questions that every single person answered, because I thought that that would be a really great way of seeing, seeing the breadth and the choice and the different words, whether people use adjectives or whether people use roles or whether people just literally use 4 words, like somebody said, a work in progress, which is 4 words. And I thought that it was easy, but I think that's because over the last 7 years, I have been thinking about myself. I have been doing a lot of inner work and trying to build a connection with myself. And so I have been figuring out how I would describe myself. But what a lot of people have told me is literally what you've just said, which is actually, it's hard to describe yourself. So
Yeah.
I think you did an amazing job describing yourself. And also, can I just say that you embody what I hope to be as I move through the rest of my 40s and my 50s and approach my 60s, because you seem to have such a connection with life, and you have such a curiosity that has never left you, and a passion for living fully and connecting and learning. And these are all qualities that I feel that I have. And I'm so delighted to see that, as we as women, get older, we don't lose those. We don't lose our innate qualities. So you've beautifully represented and given, I think, loads of people hope that aging is just a fact. It's just a fact of aging. It says nothing about you, right? Your age, because when I asked you how did it feel being 50 something, almost 60 something, you said that, whether I'm 30 or 50 or 60, it doesn't really matter. So for you don't limit yourself by your age. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. And it's a really beautiful way to model to a lot of people, that I know and that I don't know, because in society, we see this, that women are, as they age, they are limited, they are disparaged, that they are sort of devalued. But you are showing, you are literally the embodiment of my series, and showing that aging is irrelevant, and we still possess the same vibrancy and the same vitality. And it's all about our mindset and our essence and our soul and our spirit. So thank you.
Thank you for these words, because I feel like that. And I think we have a life, and the existence question is to say how I'm going to live it, right? Because now in my almost 60 years old, I just asked myself, and I said, okay, I'm more past and I have less future, right? So the question is how I'm going to live it, with what attitude I will bring everything to the world and to the life, because now I'm going to be a grandmother, right? But it doesn't excuse me for anything. I don't want to be like a grandmother and just with my glasses and be boring, and no, I want to be crazy, and I want to risk myself, and I want to experience more things, because I think life is about risking and experiencing
and engaging. Right? It sounds like you very much want to engage and rumble with life, really kind of grab life with both hands and see, what the future has. Do you find that because now, you're approaching 60, and, you just said that you have a lot of life, behind you, and then life in front of you. Does it make you more intentional, knowing that, can you tell us a little bit about what that feels like and how that informs your choices?
Yes, I have a lot of theory, knowledge of all the things, but I wanted to live the life, to feel it the way it is. For example, I have the opportunity to be in a lake, right? Very close from Mexico City. So I used to go and I said, like, stand up. This is like
paddle boarding.
Paddle boarding, and I just look all all around me, and I said, what is this? So I expand myself all the time, right? It's like a kind of living, but in now, right? I am not expecting what it's gonna be or my health. I try to be honest with me, and I said, that's the moment I have to take advantage of it. That's the only thing, because the present is the thing is present, right? The present is
it's
something
being present and seizing the opportunity.
It's difficult, but I think I thrive it.
Right? Yeah, you thrive.
With a lot of difficulty, with a lot of things, with therapy, with books, and just looking for what I wanted to be my life now. So all my choices I know that I have already, and I said, what is my decision to be? What is going to be my future this moment for the other 20 years? And I respond myself, and I said, I just want to dare what I am, accept more myself, with all my doubts, and with all my disabilities, and with all the things that I have, like maybe sometimes I transform in a witch, right? A good witch, or maybe a bad witch, because I yell. I'm sad sometimes, and one of my things is I am angry with the injustice. When something is not fair, I struggle with that, because I wanted to be all the world has to be fair. I don't know, is fair?
Yes. There should be equity and parity between everybody. Yeah,
everybody, right? And I think it's not possible. So I have just to say, take it easy, Marcela, relax yourself. That's the only thing we have in life, relaxing. And I use the water, and I use the sports. I used to meditate a lot. I think that's the thing that I think meditating and making yoga and be very conscious of my body and my feelings. So I think now my decision, my choice is to be more present with myself. I think that's the point, and it could be. I think I reached that point.
I think it's a really important point. And it sounds to me that what you've described is you have had intentionality in the way that you wanted to feel. And because of the way you wanted to feel, you sought out books and therapy and, yoga and meditation and all these different ways to feel connected with yourself and become self-aware, because it's only through becoming self-aware that we can make conscious, deliberate choices that align with the spirit of who we are. Otherwise, if you don't connect with yourself, then the choices that you're making are not really your choices. The choices that represent you, the spirit, the soul, the essence of you, rather than the surface level version, the role that you play, the way that other people see you. And I know this because I've experienced that. I've experienced the change. And I've seen there's been the first sort of part of my life where I didn't make conscious, deliberate choices. And so my conscious, deliberate choices have really come in my 40s, like developing that connection with myself, and that self-awareness has been particularly intense the last few years, because I've stepped away from my career in order to do that, so that I can have the next, 40 years, I can have a better, more aligned and integrated next 40 years.
Exactly, integrated. I think that's the point. Yes, like a very holistic. I am this and I am that. I everything. I'm more than that. And I believe that I know. I am more than that, right?
Yes.
It's like expand myself, and I said I can limit or I can define myself only in one thing. It's like a universe. The universe is in me. It's very strange because I think life is choices. The choices we take.
Life
right?
is absolutely the choices that we take.
Yes, and we have a lot of we fail along very little. I fail and
you pick yourself up,
and pitch myself and stand up, Marcela, and next. And the other thing that I love is to feel all the feelings, or as you feel the feelings, right?
Yes.
Very. When I want to be sad, I cry, right? And I wanted to be and to look at a picture, very sad picture, and then I can allow myself to cry a lot. And I say, yes, no, I like something is cleaning myself. And
so
then
it's a release, right? You allow yourself to cry. And because I think that crying is the end of whatever is going on inside. Like we feel it, we feel unsettled, or we feel a little off, or we feel sad, and the feelings are all there. The crying does not stop the feelings. I think the not crying does not stop the feelings. The feelings are there, and the crying is the release. The crying is the way that you can get all of that, and you can acknowledge the sadness and the feelings that you have at any one time.
Yeah.
And it's so healthy. It's so healthy to have that release.
It's healthy, and when I in that mood, I used to write poems.
Yeah.
And I am with me. The sadness is to be with yourself. It's just a place that you just know, and then I want to be alone. I want to be only with me, and it's like a honeymoon with me, right? So I take advantage of my sadness to have that space, that moment, that instant with me and with my feelings and with my thoughts and with whatever I am. So it's nice. But when I am happy, oh my goodness, I am happy, right? I love to dance, and I want to have a sense of humor. I love to have sense of humor, and when I am in a community or when I am in a dinner with friends or something, they tell me, please, Marcela, please, cuéntanos un chiste. Is in Mexico. It's a joke, right? Just tell me a joke, please. Very, very good. So how to say when it's I am like a person very histrionic. Histrionic is the name?
I've heard of the word. Very. Oh wait, now the word. I don't think histrionic is the right word, because I think in English it has a different connotation. But you're somebody who's
acting.
It's theatrical.
Yes, very theatrical with a joke, and so I want to laugh, and when I am happy, that's laughing is laughing. So it's the moment of laughing, not crying. Now is laughing, right? And
don't you think? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I know.
Don't you think that it's because you allow yourself to feel the sadness that you're also able to feel the joy?
Yes.
Right? Because feeling your feelings means feeling all of the feelings that we have when we are human. And that means the whole spectrum. It means the jealousy, the sadness, the shame, the guilt, the disappointment, the despondency, the joy, the happiness, the contentment. It's the bliss. It's the angry. And the anger. It's everything. And actually, it's so important. I'm glad you mentioned anger, because anger is something that, women and girls are told they shouldn't be. It's in all the nursery rhymes, and it's in our conditioning. So actually anger, I found personally in my own life, but also from talking to a lot of people, that anger is something that that we have found hard to allow ourselves to be fully angry. You know, we kind of try and suppress it. We try and numb it. We try and, you know, pretend it's not there. It's seething and bubbling inside us, but we don't always allow ourselves to express it, which I think is very unhealthy, because anger is a part of being human.
Yes, of course. And in our culture, I don't know if in England, but here in all the Latin American, our parents or the culture, they teach us not to be angry, right?
Yes.
It's not very feminine. No,
Yes.
it's very no. You have to be very nice all the
Sweet,
time.
good.
Oh, terrible. No, I will tell you that since I was 3 years old, I used to have the anger in myself. So it's something that I have been practicing a lot, and I am working not to be angry. Instead that I try to be peaceful and to be with a serenity and to be relaxing. So that point is because I have been struggling myself with the anger all the time, because I put limits, and I am very like I told you before, I fight and I don't want the injustice in life. And if I am I am angry because someone in the car
Cut you up, yeah.
So I allow all the things that happen. I think that's the thing we have to live, right?
Well, I think that when we say anger, actually, just hearing you group two things together, I think there's different types of anger, right?
Yes.
And one, yes, and obviously a spectrum too. So what we're saying for everybody listening is that anger is one of the emotions that we need to allow ourselves to feel, because it's part of the human spectrum of emotions. It is not healthy to suppress your anger. Obviously, we're not talking about then how you express your anger is a different thing. And when you express it to another person, there are very unhealthy ways to express anger to another person. And we're not condoning that. We're not saying, you know, release your anger and just, no, put it on other people, and even, you know, violence or emotional violence or whatever. We're not saying that is okay. But allowing yourself to acknowledge that you're angry, being in touch with what it is, because all our emotions are messages to us. They are little messages to say, hey, I'm feeling this. And under the emotion, then if you're curious, you have to work out, what is making me angry? Like, what is going on here? What am I not seeing? What am I not, you know, acknowledging? Do I need to take action, or do I need to sit with it? Is it something that I need to sit with?
Breathe.
Or do I need to breathe?
You
know,
and just put it
so
apart.
Sorry, what was that?
Yes, when I am angry, I have to be myself, and I say I'm breathing, and say that's not the moment, but I have to practice it. Yes. And then you come and you go back, right? Just 3 steps. Said, okay, I'm going to be calm myself, and then I will be, and I'm going to express my voice with my voice. What things it made me angry, right?
But the other side of anger, which you also said, is that part of being upset about injustice, and part of being an activist, you know, whether it's the label the activist, or you have that sense of injustice that you want to, you know, fight against inside you, that comes from anger. So anger actually has a very, very important role in our lives, because it's a sign to us that there is something wrong. And there's something wrong, you know, externally that we can see, all the different social injustices that are taking place in the world right now. You know, they all make me very, very angry. But also, there's anger because of something that's internal, something that isn't right with us. Something, whether it's a situation that we're in, whether it's a relationship that we're in, whether it's the way that we acted towards somebody, whether it's the way somebody else acted towards us, whether it's a dream that we're not pursuing. that we want to, and that's making us angry and resentful when we see somebody else. So it's often common that, anger, envy, jealousy, all of these are very linked, right? And instead of focusing on the person, I'm envious of so and so, you look and you see, what am I envious of? So for you, for me, like looking at you, oh, you're an author, you've written books, and I'm like, oh, I feel it. It's not anger, but I feel that twinge of, oh, I wish that was me. And so that's showing me, oh, Lara, like that's something that's important to you. You want to do that. So, anger and the, in quotes, bad, difficult emotions, as they're labeled by society, really teach us very valuable lessons. And I think that for everybody, we need to all allow ourselves to feel all of the emotions, because in doing that, we will have the most connected experience of life that we can possibly have.
Exactly. The anger moves on, right? It's
and it moves on. Yeah.
It's a passion, and you can move on, and the function, the very positive function of anger is to put limits. I'm going to take care of myself, so I have to put some obstacle, and I said you can pass through here, right? It's just I put, because I am caring myself, right? That's the way that I consider that. I am angry, so I'm caring myself, and I am caring about you also, right? This is just to put an obstacle, right? And say, now we can see each other, and then we move on. Because it's a very masculine. It's very masculine. The anger is feeling very, very masculine. The sadness is very feminine, and to be I'm afraid of, how you say it, fear. Fear is something that you feel inside, so it's as well as very feminine energy, right? But the thing is that we can compose all of these, all the five feelings.
We're huge, and that's where there's a problem when we keep dividing emotions into masculine and feminine, because that doesn't help. That doesn't help all of us, because it means that we get confused and we think that these emotions, when they're not for us, we are not allowed to feel those. But actually, all of them are human emotions, and everybody, whatever gender you are, has the right and deserves to and will experience all of them. And we need to have the balance of all of them in order to be able to live a full life. So, Marcela, I really want to talk to you about relationships, because this is something that you are very passionate about, and I'm very passionate about. And you've been with your partner for almost 35 years, and this is part of like your work practice as well. So, tell me, what do you think are some of the really important characteristics and qualities that make a really strong, healthy, vibrant, vital relationship?
I love this subject because I have been working a long time with all my conflicts. But I think there are three things that make a relationship solid and mature and lovely. And one of these, I think, is one of the best, is have creativity, to be creative. We have to risk all the time, right? The other thing I think is very, and I would like to it's what happened with me, and I think that's the success in my marriage, is because we used to know how to grow together, right? Yes, it's very important, because if someone goes in the step and the other people doesn't want to grow, it's going to be very difficult how to stay connected, how to stay together. because and we have to move, and we have to find who I am and who you are. And you have to work in yourself, to knowledge in yourself with all the things of your own, knowledge of myself, and as well the partner's difficulties or imperfections, because as well I am projecting. So we have to do that, and knowing each other is growing up. It's like a promotion, inviting him or her to go with the hand, with your hand, and say, go in one direction. Because one of the things is that if we want this relationship to grow, we have to look forward, to look in the same direction,
to have a vision and
to
be
have
able
a vision. What do
look.
we want? Like a common project. I think is very, very good. And the other one is the passion. I think we need passion. We need eros in our life. We have to invite eros in our life, the desire, the playful, right? To make crazy things together, to invite him to improve yourself and to take another step more and reach yourself. Everything is the passion. And the other thing is the spaces. I think that's a good, very good point. Very, 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 very good point. It's to have spaces, because if we have individual spaces, it's like having air in our relationship, right? The only thing we can be, and we can excite ourselves and be mysterious. We have the curiosity. Is you can do something here. You can go to your spaces, individual spaces, your projects, and then mine, and then we can be together. Like when you are making love, right? You can be nutritive,
nurturing.
Nourish. Yes,
Nourish.
no, because we have our walls. But now that's the time that we have the point of joining ourselves, like a fusion, right? It's going to. So I think if we want to have fire in our relationship, we need spaces, because without air, no fire without air, right?
Yes.
Something like this.
I love that. Remind me again the first thing that you said, the one that was before growth. What was the first thing?
I think we have to be creative.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
If we are not like this, it's something very boring, right? It's boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're essentially saying is that to have a healthy, vibrant, vital, long-lasting relationship, right? What you've just said is that you need to, it needs to be dynamic. There needs to be movement, and by movement, it's like growth and change. Because as humans, as separate humans, before we come together in partnership, we are evolving. The whole of our life is an evolution, right? And so in order to be in relationship with somebody, and here we're talking about romantic relationships, but it also does apply to friendships too, right? It's about being able to grow together, learn together. And you said that sometimes one person leads, right? One person leads, they discover something first and says, hey, come, I found this thing. And sometimes the other person leads. So it's being able to like do a dance in the relationship of who is going to lead and who's going to follow, and vice versa. But then you said that there needs to be space, which is something that, is not talked about enough. That, people think that, oh, once you're in relationships, you need to do everything together and have the same friends and, always like be together. But actually, it's very, very healthy to be nourishing your own passions. Whatever that might be, whether they're creative or whether they're community-based or justice, but whatever it is, but having something that nourishes you as an individual human is so important, because then you get to come back into the relationship and share that, and you are vital and passionate and excited and joyous about the feelings that you get when you're creating or doing something that makes you joyful, and you get to share it with that person, and they get to share it with you. And so then, you know, you said that it's the coming together, the making love, but even just the coming together and the talking and the spending time, you
sharing
both have the sharing. Yes, you're coming together as full humans, as whole humans.
The whole human. And if nothing is hidden, nothing can be discovered, right? So that's the mystery. It has to be the element of the mystery in the relationship. Yes, because we are like an open book, right? In sometimes we know each other, but sometimes we have to just keep little spaces.
Yeah.
Come and know me now, because all the time we are changing. All the time we're changing. There's nothing that we are state like a static place. No, we are changing. That's the way that I feel that it's the create our internal, like internal, how you say, incentivized system.
Yes.
How to incentive?
Yes, incentive. Right? Yeah.
Incentive is the to be gratitude all the time, because he is or she is my friend. The friendship and the companionship.
Well, that's very important. Right. Let's talk about that, because, you know, when I mean, I'm a romantic. I've been a romantic since I was a child. I love romance and love and, you know, the happily ever after. I was sold on all of this. But what people don't talk about is they don't talk about the foundation of really strong relationships, and that is the friendship, the companionship. If you don't have that respect and all the things that come from that, right? Respect and trust and safety. That is like the foundation of any relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or it's a friendship.
Whatever has to be, and gratitude all the time. Because if he is my companion or she is my companion, he's the one that I choose for life. So we have to treat them like if they were our best friends, right? And the thing is that we don't do that. All the relationships, all the failures in the relationships nowadays is because we don't respect the other people like the human being. Because we talk with anger, we talk like with expective thing. We are how you say, neglect them. No?
Yeah.
Neglect them.
Yeah.
They are indifferent, and we don't have to be indifferent with my companion, right?
That's the biggest, you know, people think that the opposite of love is hate, but I read, and I don't know, I can't remember who said it. It might be John Gottman, but the opposite of love is indifference. Yes. That's when you know that that's the death knell of any relationship. It's when somebody doesn't care anymore. It's not hate, because hate is still as fiery and passionate. It's the flip side of the coin. Energy very strong, yes. But indifference, when you ignore all of the signs, because you don't switch from love to indifference overnight. I think that what happens in order to move from love to indifference is there's lots of it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? It's like chipping away little by little, so little that you can't tell, but you know that something's off, but it's not big enough to deal with. And you just take the other person for granted, as you said. That's another thing. That's another thing that people do, take each other for granted. Oh, well, we're married now. Oh, well, you know, they're the mother of my children, they're the father of my children, we're bound together now, you know. And all these little things end up wearing the relationship away. And it's like the little things I'm finding as I get older, it's the little things that I'm finding are the things that really sort of end relationships, not necessarily the big row. You know, it's like the very simple, basic things that when you see they have worn away, that is the thing that really puts me into indifference. I don't care anymore.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm losing interest in you, right?
Yeah, I have lost trust.
I don't care, and I don't care about you anymore, right?
Yeah,
it's
like,
terrible.
well,
It's
yeah,
because you are
yeah.
losing interest. You are losing interest, and then it's another thing. Is like an enemy in the relationship. Is the contempt, right?
Yes.
You are not, no, and you are nothing, and now we are not caring the relationship. And the thing that we can take care is with tenderness. Do you remember the one that the first time, and I said, oh, how is the name? Is tender, right? Passion,
Tender.
and then tender and
Yes.
care, and to have like admiration. That's the only other thing.
Yeah.
I think the admiration, the sense of humor, sex, and gratitude and intimacy. Oh, the intimacy! I love that word, and I
love that word too.
It's incredible because that's the only thing to connect with the other people, or with your couple, with your partner. Is about how is the intimacy, right?
And intimacy is different from sex. You can have sex. You can have sexual intimacy, but intimacy covers physical intimacy. It covers emotional intimacy, mental intimacy, spiritual intimacy.
Yes, because you are my trusted confidant, right?
Yes.
You are the one that I can just give my life in your hands, and you are not going to betray to me. That's the thing, is that sometimes we are so vulnerable, with a lot of vulnerability, that we are afraid to how you say, to entregar,
to be vulnerable, to reveal how we feel.
But to reveal everything, right?
Yeah.
There's afraid, because if I talk to you and I tell you everything about me, that's if we fight someday, you are going to that's
the fear. Yeah.
Yes, that's a fear. So, and that's happening in almost all the relationships. That's why they divorce themselves, because I am not trusting. You are not trusting anymore, because I give you everything to you. My thoughts, my feelings,
my fears, my fear,
how I blame myself with other things, and that, and the other people, they use that things to have something wrong to you, to fight,
let's just highlight that point for people. That is one of the things that in relationships can be, and this is, I think, especially in romantic relationships, can really, really weaken a relationship, is when you use somebody's vulnerabilities against them in an argument. So if somebody has said, I don't know, if somebody is feeling anxious, and says, I have anxiety about this, I'm really worried about this, and then the other person hears it, and then you're in a fighting situation about something totally different, and then that person says to you, oh, it's just because you're overreacting because you're always anxious all the time, it's not real. Like, that is just, it's like a double attack. It's an attack in the actual argument, but then it's an attack on the trust. It breaks the trust that you've given a bit of yourself.
Feel betrayed, right?
Yeah. And the safety then is compromised. I want you to just say a few words on how sometimes there are things in relationships where you can't deal with them by yourself. You need another person to help you. And that's another place that I think where relationships can be broken, where both people know that there's something wrong, but they can't fix it together, because sometimes it's hard. When you're in it, it's very hard. You kind of need somebody with perspective, looking down, who's not connected, to be able to see the situation and repeat it back to the people to help them understand. So can you talk just a little bit about therapy, and how important it is to actually seek help from somebody else, obviously somebody that you trust, but seek help from somebody else, and how that can make you see things in a different way?
Completely, because when you are like a third person in the relationship, you can look objective, right? With all the thing, with a vision, completely the vision. When you are in a fighting, they can see each other. It's like putting a hand here. You can see anything, but if you go and you put in distance all the situation, you can be more careful. It's more clarity, everything. Everything shows exactly what it is. So if you go to therapy, it's exactly the same. You are an intermediary people,
intermediary.
just to see how they behave, how they move, how they feel, how they just have an interaction, right? How they talk each other, and you just going to put the things the way they are, right? With all the vision, with a complete vision. So I think it's a must when you, and not only when you are fighting or you are getting divorced or whatever. No, we have to do it by prevent, right?
Preventative.
Yes.
Yeah, because by the time, isn't there a statistic that by the time couples actually go to therapy, it's like something like it's either 4 years too late or 7 years late. It's a very long time too late, right? So
because all the water is in here, so you
yes.
are now trying to
so you're saying that it's good to actually even go to therapy as a preventative measure, as a supportive measure to support the health and how you interact with each other in relationship.
Yes, because on the second point, remember, it's growing together. And the only thing is that you can say, I can change myself, I can transform myself, because I don't have all the truth in myself. It's something that it happens all the time. Is I am my truth, you have your truth, and I am not going to change like nothing. No, you can accept what I am. If you don't accept me like I am, so go. No, in the therapy, every point, are discussing, we are like exploring everything. What is our, how you say when you are herida? Herida is when something, when you have our primary fractures. How do you say the fractures?
Yes, the fracture. Yeah, the hurts. The primary trauma. Yeah.
We have to discover
the wounds. The
wounds. Yeah. Thank you. I have it in Spanish and it's difficult. I know in English, but it's
no. You're doing great. Yeah.
That's incredible, Lara, because I think the therapy is exactly the same. You put everything in the table, and I say, okay, so please tell the other people how you feel, and you confirm whether you are listening, because sometimes there are misunderstanding. I just listen what I want to listen, but I don't listen what they want. Really, the own necessities of her or him. So it's like a great conversation. It's self-reflections. No, we have to reflect everything, but not only project, but reflect. How you say self-reflection?
Self-reflection.
No?
Yeah.
What happened in this, and they express their feelings. No, that's therapy. It's a caring space with harmony. You are safe here. You don't have to do nothing because it's a safe place, and I am here not to do what you want to do. No, it's your decision, whatever. But I put scenarios, right? Like a lot of things, and I said, why don't you try this, and why don't you try this? So everything is open possibilities.
So you give people, what I'm hearing you say is that you give people, first, you are the person, the independent person who's able to see the whole picture, because you're not directly invested or connected to either of the two people. And then you take in the information, you realize that you can see the wounds that each person have that's being triggered, because the arguments, generally, the arguments are never about the thing you're arguing about. They're about how each person feels inside and how it reminds them of a feeling that they had generally when you were young, right? That's being triggered and wounded. So it's the trigger of the primary wound. And then you present in a safe space, in a safe environment, you present different scenarios and options for people to be curious, to try and see what works for them. Because it's about the individual relationship, which is made up of two people. So by that nature, every relationship is different, right? You put one of those people with another person, different relationship. And so it's really finding what actually works for you, and you facilitate people to be able to do that. And that's
to be able to do that, and to be able,
no, you go. And be able to do what?
It's exactly to be able to communicate, because to have a real dialogue, right? Dialogue is
dialogue, yes.
And to be honest, because we are afraid all the time to be with a vulnerability. And I said, come on, you can tell everything. Please tell me what I am. That's the intimacy, right?
Yeah.
So in the therapy, I try to create an intimacy of both of the couple, no, to see all the projections, to see all the wounds, no, the primary wounds,
yeah.
And everything is like so like a big window, it's open, and I said, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I didn't be aware of this. So you take like a lot of awareness in that simple 1 hour. Yeah. And then I make a like a lot of homeworks, no, because they have to move from one point to another. That's the thing. The same thing all the time, it doesn't work now. You have to move, you have to try, you have to risk yourself. You have to be like very, very awareness what's happening, and what makes you feel bad, and what makes you be sad, and what make you feel joy, whatever, all the things that we have been.
And that's why it's so important what you said, which is don't come right at the end when you're like, when the water is here. You try and come when the water is here, where you haven't been hurt so much by all of the interactions that have worn you down and worn the relationship down. You come when you still have that kind of that hope and that trust and that faith and that reserve in your tank to be able to invest, emotionally and energetically in therapy. Because what you've beautifully illustrated for us, and thank you so much for giving us that insight and that window, is that the traditional, love is enough. Love is the only thing that you need. Actually, it's not. You need a shared vision. You need all of the things that you said. And you also need to have two people who together are willing okay, let me start again. You need two people who are both willing to do the work to make the relationship work, because one person cannot do a two-person job, especially in a relationship.
Yeah, that's a condition. It's like a bike, right?
Yeah.
If you have to do, if you don't have the wheels.
The wheels, yeah.
The wheels, no, very inflating, right?
Yeah.
And one is ponchado.
Yeah, punctured.
Punched. There's not work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
It's gonna be very hard for the person that wants to live. It's not, the couple is two. For tango needs two people, right?
Yes.
And the other thing is that the conflict, every discussion. So it's we have to put rules for discussion, right?
Yeah.
It's a must to have a conflict, because there are a lot of difference between you.
Yeah, you're two different people coming together. Yeah. So you're going to have differences, right?
Yes, and that difference, you can do it and say how we are going to share our difference. Well, we have to
how are we going to communicate? Yes.
Exactly. And that's fine that you are like this, and I am fine like this, and how we are going to accept ourselves, and how we are going to respect, and how we are going to be a consensus, right? To be like you are going to do something, and I want to do something different. And so it's like a dance. No, and the other thing that I want to just like say it, and I think is very, very interesting and very important, is that our couple, he is not able to, how you say,
Express?
it's not the expectation. Let me see. I think I put it here. Sorry, I think I put it here. It's very difficult. It's very important to say that he is not going to feel your expectation. That's it.
Right? Oh, yes. So what you're saying is that you can't look to your partner to make you whole, to fill you up. That is your own work. You have to do your own individual work to heal your own wounds and to become self-aware and to feel engaged with life. You can't be almost begging to the other person, fill me, fill my holes. Like,
exactly, it's terrible because there's a lot of it's a load, right?
yes.
You have to feel all my expectation in life. No, it's not possible, right? It's not possible. So I think this point is very, very important. And for me, love is the rejoicing. See,
yes,
for the very existence of the other. Yes, I am happy because you exist. I'm just happy. Oh. That's the way. It's so beautiful, right?
That is so beautiful.
You are going to be with me or not, but I am. It's joyful to have someone like you in the earth. So I think it's earth, and to let the other people know that I am here, right, to be your witness in your life. No, I'm with.
Yes.
with
so wait. I just realized we didn't tell people how we know each other. So we're coming to the end. So for everyone, the word you just used is witness. Okay. The reason that Marcela and I know each other is that Karime, who did episode 1 with me, when I was telling her about the series and telling her that I wanted to connect with women in their 50s and 60s and 70s, and I was like, I don't know a lot of people, and she said, I have the perfect person for you. And she connected me with you, and you watched some of my work to make sure that our chemistry was good, and then we had a pre-call to meet each other, and that was delightful. But I will never forget, Marcela, that Karime told me when she talked about her husband, we were at dinner, and she said, he cares to be the witness of my existence. And I wrote those words down in my phone because I had never heard that before. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful idea and concept that I wanted to remember it. And I think that's a lovely way to bring this to a close. I have one final question, which I ask everybody, which is, what does it mean to you to use your voice? And why did you want to be part of this series?
For me, it's very important, and I thank you very, very much, because we have to have our own voice, and just to find and to say to all women, we have the power inside, right? Just look inside. And I think this version and this project, beautiful project, is just to have conversation and to let everybody knows, and the woman and man as well, and to feel our own life, that we are a precious human being, and we have a lot of things to share, and we have a heart to share, and we have feelings. And I think these kind of conversations, just I realize that are like sacred, right? Sacred, they are sacred because we put our own heart in this, right? I'm being the way I am, and I want just to receive my heart to all the people that now they are listening to us, no? And I'm very grateful for this moment and for this projection, because to have a lot of women talking about their lives, it's like magic. Right? Because it's what we feel that we are all together, that we are una unidad, a unit, right?
Yes.
You are me, and I
you.
am you, right?
And we see ourselves in each other.
Like a reflect, like a mirror. So
yes.
I love the thing that we are reflecting, you with me and me with the others and everything, because we are one, only one. So thank you for this. For this project. It's incredible. This series that you make through is like a dream, and now here we are. So I feel grateful with you, and I'm very, 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 how you say, delightful. And the other thing is that, sorry, I think I don't have to do it, but with my perfection, no, I have to say that I can do it. I could do it in English. It's not my first language, but I put my heart in it. So thank you for the patience, for all the
no patience necessary. You know, like, you were very sneaky, because you said to me, you lowered my expectations. You were like, I'm not sure, I think we should, only do a short one. But I just want to tell you that we've been talking for 1 hour 10 minutes, so you have more than exceeded my expectations. And I very much want to have you back when you become 60 something, and
yes,
then we can continue this conversation, because there was a lot that we actually didn't get to talk about, and I would really love that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for saying yes, for bringing me so much joy and delight, and for being part of what I feel is for me, and I hope for everybody that participates. It's a very sacred, heart-filled, love-filled series. So thank you so much, Marcela. I'm really privileged and honored and delighted to have this conversation with you.
My honor is mine. Thank you very much, Lara. Thank you.
So everybody, that brings us to the end of my conversation with Marcela on being 50 something. I hope you enjoyed it, and please do check out the other episodes and subscribe to the YouTube channel to be notified when new episodes are released. So I'll see you in the next episode.